You know, the great thing about podcasting is it allows time-shifted communication. It's episode number 128 of the School of Podcasting's morning announcements, and typically I talk a lot and then you comment. Today, I'm going to talk a little, and I want you to talk a lot.
It's the School of Podcasting's morning announcements. Here's Dave Jackson.
All right, welcome to this edition of the School of Podcasting's morning announcements. I am your host, Dave Jackson. Today's going to be maybe short, maybe not. If you're a regular listener to the show, you know short, not my strong suit. But if you want to, and I'm going to need you to join in on the conversation on this one. Number one, we had about 13 to 18 inches of snow in Ohio, and I went out and shoveled the driveway, and pretty much about the time I got done, it was time to shovel the driveway again, and then shovel the driveway again. And in the process, I caught a dandy of a cold. My voice is really killing me, so I can't really talk a whole lot. I'm going to need you to talk for me. So we have a couple questions for you, and I've got a couple quick points, and then we're going to call it a day, okay? So thank you very much for listening. This is where we talk about all things podcasting. And number one, first things first, I think you all know I'm a big fan of the Bitter's Pill. And I've said this before, if you're using one of those free services to have podcast voicemail, yeah, Dan lost his voicemail. Why? Because if you don't call yourself, or if you don't receive any calls within 30 days, you lose your phone number. And so my solution to that is to go to podcastvoicemail.com. It's through a system called Call 8, and you can get a toll-free number like mine, 888-563-3228, for $2 a month. And then if nobody calls, you pay $2 a month. If somebody calls and they leave a minute voicemail, it's like $2.06. It's like 6 cents a minute. I don't think I've ever had a bill larger than $5. And if you're paying $5, it means because you're getting a lot of feedback. And I'll pay 6 cents a minute for some feedback. So just keep that in mind. Podcastvoicemail.com. Number two, you know, back in February, on Valentine's Day, I released the podcast promo show, thinking that there would be a ton of promos to pick from, and apparently not the case. So if you're looking for some exposure, go over to podcastpromoshow.com. There's a link right there to submit your promo. Tell us a little bit about your podcast, where we can find it, and put in the link to your promo, and I'll put it on the show, podcastpromoshow.com. Now, on to the meat and potatoes of the show. So get comfy. Every week at the School of Podcasting, myself and any members get together, and we have what I call is a round table. It's live training. It's audio. It's video. They can actually look right over my shoulder. So if they say, Dave, how do you do this in Audacity? Or how do last week it was, how do I post-date things in WordPress? And I went, oh, okay, let me show you. I logged in and go over here, click the date timestamp, and put in a future date. Very cool. And we got on the subject of inputs. How to hook up your mixer, you know, and really you're either going to plug in something to an 1/8-inch jack on your sound card, be it the line input or your mic input, and those inputs are going to be connected to an output on your mixer, whether it be the main out, the RCA out, etc., etc. And we got on the subject of USB. And in theory, a USB interface should have a better sound quality than your sound card. Now, that depends a lot on your sound card. I'm using a sound card right now that just came old standard, whatever it is, Sound Blaster, Creative Labs, it was ever in my Dell computer. And a couple weeks ago, I recorded a podcast with Rob Walsh on my laptop. You heard that from Wizard Media. Laptop sound card not as good as my desktop. But in theory, when I've used a USB interface, and I have a Adderall UV25, cost me about $250, $280, and I don't use it because it's just little old me, and it's got a thing there for 2 microphones, and I can't get a mono signal out of this thing. It's sitting in my closet. I occasionally pull it out and play with some things, and I don't use it, basically. I had an iMic from Griffin. It broke. And I was talking with people, and there are plenty of people that are using USB microphones. Tim Dewey from SledDogPodcast.com is using one. Paul Culligan, when I talked to him months ago, I think he was using a Samson. He might have been using a Snowball. He had some sort of USB microphone. And people that are using USB microphones seem to love them. It's very plug and play. I don't believe you have to go into, even on a Windows machine, I don't think you have to go into your settings and change anything. That may be different. But I know when I used a USB interface, Mark Wade of A1ArtistSpotlight.com had an Alesis mixer that had a USB interface built into it. Sounds like the best of both worlds. Yeah, he ended up ditching the USB part. He still uses it as a mixer, but he goes out of the main outputs into the sound card of his computer. I have more or less ditched mine. We had more and more people saying, yeah, USB is great if it's a USB microphone, but my interface, yeah, I don't use it. My interface, yeah, I don't use it. The only person I know of, and I haven't asked him in a while, is Rob Walsh from Wizard Media, from Podcast 411, from Today in Podcasting. He uses an M audio interface, and the last I heard, he liked it. So, as I said, my voice is getting ready to go here, and that's my question for you. A, do you use a USB interface? And if so, what is it? How much did you pay for it? And are you still using it? And if you like it, yeah. And if you don't like it, if you're not using it, why? Okay, now you can answer this survey at shownotes.schoolofpodcasting.com. That's question number 1. Question number 2. Back in the day, children, sit around and let me tell you, back in the day, in 2005, boy, I cannot do Grandpa. That hurts my voice a lot. Back in the day, in 2005, a lot of people use a software package called Audacity because it's free. It's on the Mac, it's on the PC, and it works. Now, in 2005, almost everybody I knew that used Audacity a lot had what I called the Audacity story. This involved phrases like, we caught this one of a kind, special story, special circumstance, phenomenal podcast, you wouldn't believe it, I was so happy I captured it, only Audacity crashed and we lost the whole thing. It always ended with that. This was great, phenomenal, brilliant, funny, couldn't believe we got it, and Audacity crashed, we lost the whole thing. They always ended like that. Much in the same way that if you talk to somebody and they talk about going out partying, and if the beginning of the story starts off with, well, we started drinking Jaeger, you know the end of the story is going to just end up with something like, and I ended up, naked in the front yard of my neighbor's house. Something like it. Just some stories start one way and the end the other. And at least back in 2005, if somebody said, well, yeah, I use Audacity, but I knew it was going to end with, and we lost the whole thing. Now, fast forward to present time, Audacity has gone through a couple upgrades. I know Audacity enough to be dangerous in it because I have to help the members of the School of Podcasting that need help in that. I use a product called Mixcraft from Acoustica. And what I'm here to ask, it's a really long question to say, A, are you using Audacity? Because I know a lot of people are. I'm not here to put it down. I just need to know, have you had a Audacity story moment? Have you had an Audacity crashed and we lost the whole thing moment? So that's the two things. We'll talk about this in the next podcast. We'll talk about your USB interfaces. What are you using? Are they working? Are they not working? And if you have a USB microphone, what are you using? Do you love it? Record something. Let me hear what it sounds like. And then number 2, are you using Audacity? And if you're not using Audacity, go out and tell us what you're using. Now, Dave, how are you going to do this? Well, here's the fun part for you. I think most people know about SurveyMonkey. It's a free survey service. There's another one. It's called WuFooed. It's WuFoo. And just take a second right now and say that. It's fun. WuFooed. WuFooed. Seriously, say it. WuFooed. See? Wasn't that fun? I don't know what it makes my brain kind of scramble. Like it sounds like something, but I can't figure out what it does. WuFooed. It sounds like something, oh man, this guy took, that's what happens when you have an Audacity story. We had the Audacity crashed and it was completely WuFooed. That's it, there you go. That's what it sounds like. So, I'm going to be using WuFoo.com for this. And I'd really love it if you could go out to shownotes.schoolofpodcasting.com and take 2 seconds. I'll even put a box there if you want to put your name and your podcast. We'll give you a little plug. And again, if you're looking for a plug and you got one, go out to podcastpromoshow.com. So the great thing I love about podcasting is it is a communication. It's time-shifted communication. You've heard me talk. This week I'm saying, look, I got a little bit, but really I'm going to defer to you guys to save my voice, and we'll talk about the results on the next show. How cool is that? So you may be listening. Right now it's Sunday night at 12:27 a.m. I should be getting sleep to help my body get back to healthy. And you might be listening to this on Monday morning. It may be Wednesday. It may be 2010 when you hear this. Go out to the show notes, shownotes.schoolofpodcasting.com, and fill in the survey there. And if you want to come join in on these fun-filled roundtables, schoolofpodcasting.com. If you want to email me, it's dave@schoolofpodcasting.com. Our phone number is 888-563-3228. That is courtesy of podcastvoicemail.com. Or if you're outside the U.S., you can go to you can call 234-542-0893. And thank you very much for listening. Look forward to your feedback. And until we meet again next week, class dismissed.